welcome back to Stepping Out of Confusion. I know it's been a while since I've talked to y'all. A lot's been happening in the Heart Rock world. We had like 3 weddings in 10 days, and for the past month, I built a new structure on the land and just had a lot of things going on. Wasn't able to reach out to y'all, and it's been heavy on my heart, and I've been feeling the tug of needing to get back to y'all and letting you know some things that's been on my heart, as well as things that's just been pressing on me. And I appreciate y'all hopefully coming back to the channel and listening to what we got to say here. And I say we because a lot of this doesn't come from just me. It all comes from the Lord. And, partnering with Him is it's the only way I can make it. And, through this past couple of weeks, there's been a lot of, we'll just say, when you slip and you think you're going to fall, and you do fall, and you get yourself up and you keep brushing yourself off, and you get back to walking, and you slip again, and you just realize that there's always going to be somebody there to help you with the hand, and that's always going to be the Lord. But there's also your friends and the people that you got to reach out to, because you are not doing this by yourself. So I encourage you to keep that in mind when things like that happen. And a couple things I've written along the last couple weeks that I want to share with you, just to help you maybe out throughout your day. So I'm just going to pop these glasses on and read a little bit of what I've written. The thing that came to me was wondering, like, what's it like if you try it without me? God asks all of us, well, then what? Why would you go to the threshing floor? Why would you go there to just get beat up? Or better yet, like, how do you go to it when you want to get threshed? When the wheat loses the chaff and gets down to the grain, and then it gets turned into the thing. It's like, there's a place and time when you have to beat off the old skin. The new wine skin, new wine into new wine skin. You put new wine into old wine skin, it bursts. So to be sure to know what you are not choosing to do, for it can be a greater loss than that which looks like a sacrifice. I was asked to give up some things so I could go and do these weddings and go and do this building, and the sacrifice did not seem like a treasure at first, but during the weddings that we had, the sacrifice of the time and the sweat and the effort, it's like it really came to fruition. A lot of people benefited. Of course, I know I did, but I'm hosting over 500 people in 10 days, and they got to be fed, they got to be entertained, they got to be held, and then of course there's the bride and the groom and the families and the mom and dads paying for it. It's a lot, and we're grateful that we get to do it here at Heart Rock. Because we have the families here for almost 4 days each, and we had 3 sets of families come through in 10 days, so it was pretty awesome. It was pretty awesome. Something else I came across was that back in, I know this is a little bit out of context, but back in Jesus' days, when they would seal a deal, like when you would make an offering or go to buy a piece of land, you would seal it by giving the person you're buying from your sandals. Like, that was like the handshake. And, you know what I mean? Think, oh, wow, it's just a pair of shoes. Well, back then, I mean, you probably either made your sandals or you probably paid a decent price for them because, you know, it's not like Nike out there, some factory pumping it out. You know, it's some dude in a little thatched hut or, you know, on his little mobile donkey, stopping, getting the the reeds or the straw or the grass or whatever it is they made it out of, you know, the hemp, who knows, making yourself a pair of sandals. So when you handed them over, I mean, that was like, that was saying you were serious. So, you know, what do you use that's so serious to you that keeps your word? You know, I was just referring to the promises that you make, you know. We always get a little ahead of myself, sorry. I was referring to God's promises a minute ago, not promises, because the thing that you sacrifice is got to it's got to have a payoff. And I would hope that maybe you prayed before you went ahead and made a promise to yourself or whatever that you were going to sacrifice. A lot of times we have to look at what it is that we are sacrificing so that in perspective we can see that this sacrifice is for something better and bigger. You think about all the things you sacrifice for your children if you have them. You think about all the things you sacrificed to get you the job that you wanted. If you don't have this type of lifestyle where you are sacrificing, I ask you to take a look at what it is that you should sacrifice. And for those of you that are sacrificing for your kids, for your wife, for your husband, know that you are doing it from your heart and know that you are not expecting a return. You have to have a servant heart in this world. Otherwise, you become bitter or you become displaced, you know, despondent. If the Lord sacrificed his only son as a servant for man, think about how important it is to be a servant of the people that you love. So, I hope that sinks in from the place of being a servant. And I hope that you all can just embrace the fact that sacrifice is being of service. Sometimes to yourself, sometimes to others. And, you know, lately I've learned how to be a servant to my wife. We have a thing right now that we try to outserve each other. And it's actually kind of fun, you know, looking at, you know, not a tit for tat thing. Like that's the wrong side of service. You don't do it expecting. You do it because you want to give. You do it because you want to give, not expecting. So do the dishes for your family because you want to. Take out the garbage because you want to. Go give your kids help with their homework because you want to. And if you don't have a family, go do something for a stranger because you want to. The position of your heart will change the moment you're done. or maybe the moment that you're doing it, if you go into it not expecting. It's a big deal. So back to the beginning of what I was talking about is like, if you're trying to do something without God, like what are you gonna what then? You know? Then what are you gonna do if you don't have God with you? I mean, if you really look at it, you ain't gonna be able to breathe. You ain't gonna have the sunlight on your face. Who do you think put that up there? Who do you think made all those trees? But that's a little facetious, but you know what? Gratitude is an attitude, and appreciating what you've been given, and in that magnitude, you give it back. You will be surprised at what you get. So I hope this video turned out. I know it was a little stretchy, and I know it's been the first one for a little bit, but it's good to be back. We're going to be more back on the regular thing here, and just grateful that y'all are out there listening. And if it's only one of you, I appreciate it. And I hope that this gave you a little something to chew on and get you a little better step in your step. So until next time.